All right. I have to confirm my age to go live on TikTok, and J-Mo's cooking in the background. So if you hear it buzzing, that's what it is. J-Mustine cooking in the background. Why do I have to confirm my age to go live on TikTok? I am not under 18. Let's get that out of the way. But today, big day. I have to do all this selfie ID. No thanks. All right, never mind. No TikTok today. Just YouTube. All right. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling? Are we doing great? Today we have 2 streams. How about it? BDGEBets stream, gaming stream. Why not just fucking load up on all the streams? Why not dice and dabble and dibble here and there? We have a lot to talk about today. Football is back. Football is back. Kelsey, I'm not late. It is literally 4:01. Let's calm down. Lot to go over, okay? A lot of people that you don't know that we're going to be betting on. A lot of people that you don't know that we're going to be betting on. I'm surprised there's as many pictures as there are, if I'm going to be honest. Didn't expect Tim Boyle's picture to be here. Brett Ripon, wasn't really expecting that. But John Mechie's looking juicy. If you got the lines that I posted earlier today, Demetric Felton, Case Keenum, John Mechie, J.J. Taylor, make sure you're following the Twitters. Make sure you're following everything. But if you found those lines, you got these plays early. The 26.5 rushing receptions for J.J. Taylor. John Mechie over 1.5 receptions. Case Keenum under 70.5 passing yards. And 2 receptions for Demetric Felton. Some of those are off the board here. J.J.'s still here. Demetric's clearly not. But Case has gone down to 64.5. So we've secured value. I know that ain't Tim Boyle over. No, we're not taking a Tim Boyle over. Trust. But Abdul's taking my over. I mean, that's what we thought. All right. This is a just me thing, Kelsey. This is a just me thing today. The boys will be in more for Thursday night, like real NFL, Thursday night football. For this sort of stuff, it's just going to be me. With that being said, let's talk some fucking ball, boys. The spread of this game is 1.5 from what I'm seeing, favoring the Houston Texans. So, obviously, there's some value in Chicago. This is a preseason game. Means absolutely nothing. I'm probably not touching spreads. Probably not touching much really of, like, big value here from an actual line perspective. I know not many books, and I'm mainly talking about UD today, but no real books have lines that I would press of the over-unders either. So we're going to stick to just player props, okay? I mean, can you fare with me there? Just player props today. 28 people in here. Make sure to like the stream. Way to fucking be, boys. Yeah. So we have a lot to go over. My main one that I want to talk about, first off, this Davis Mills line has moved probably 10 times, and I'm not exaggerating about that. Brother has moved 20 times, 10 times. He was at 98. He was 97. He was at 103, and he was at 88, I think, last night. Now it's just fucking 97. So we sat in the middle. Case Keenum was at 76 if you got him at value. Now he was at 70. I posted at 70s. Now he's all the way at 64.5. I think that's because Case Keenum's probably only going to play a quarter in this game. You look at how the Houston Texans played last year. Let me break it down for you real quick. The Houston Texans played 3 quarterbacks last season, right? Obviously, C.J. Stroud played 1 drive, horrible on that drive, but again, doesn't matter. It's the first game of the season, right? The next quarter was Davis Mills. So I think C.J. threw 4 total passes throughout an entire first quarter. It was a total, I think, of 1.5 drives. And then he was done. His day was done. Obviously, I don't think that's going to be the case for Davis Mills. I think Davis Mills might get a quarter and a half. But I don't see Case Keenum getting more than a quarter tonight. He's 36 years old. He played an entire half last season being the QB3. But now we have Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle's most likely going to see the third and the fourth quarter in this one, as do most QB3, QB4s on the roster in game 1 of the preseason, as they have the most time to find out the playbook, develop in the playbook, and get a good grounding under them. Davis Mills has been in this offense well enough. Case Keenum was in this offense last year. He's not going to need the reps like he did last season. Tim Boyle's the new guy coming in. They're going to try to give him the most reps. Realistically, I am going to take a ton of unders today, okay? But Case Keenum is going to be the first one we're going to take. 64.5. I'm still taking the under, dude. I'm going to be honest. In 1 quarter, he could see last year in a half, he saw 14 passes. I think this year in a quarter, Brother, he could see 7 passes, and 7 for 70. I mean, he's going to need to really ball out. Or John Mechie's going to need to go off. One of these guys is going to need to pop off the scene. Dameon Pierce, I know a lot of people were on the over at 30.5. So if you got that value, a lot of people posted 30.5. He's now at 37.5.5. This is J-Mo's guy. 37.5. J-Mo's cooking over there in disbelief. But yeah, so it is already pretty high for Dameon Pierce. 45 people in here. What's going on? Make sure to like the stream while you're here. But yeah, betting props on this game is absurd, but that's why we're fucking here, boys, okay? We're not going to be here to dibble and dabble around. We're fucking making money as soon as the NFL starts. That's just how we do it. We like to win money out here. Yeah, Tim saying he's taking unders everywhere. I honestly agree with that. Houston spread. I talked about this earlier, Andrew, and I don't know if I love spreads in this game. Reason being, who the fuck is playing? Are we trusting Tim Boyle to lead an offense? Are we trusting a quarter of Case Keenum, Davis Mills? Who the fuck are we trusting? Dameon Pierce to be elite in like this is where it's like spreads in these types of games. Who the fuck knows the real outcome? But player props, you can figure out how long players are going to play, where they're at in the depth chart, what they need to prove, and that's what you really like to bet on in the preseason games. I don't really like to get wrapped up in spreads and all that when we don't have a concrete depth chart or a concrete example of how long players are going to play. Now, maybe when we get some starters playing, sure. Maybe in game like 3 this season, sure, maybe. But I'm still not really into spreads, so we're going to stick to mainly player props today. With that being said, Tiffany said, I'm getting a $1,500 bonus on my next paycheck. Can't wait to blow it on bets and blame me. That sounds like a good plan. I would do the same thing. Jawar Jordan is an interesting name. RB4 on the Houston depth chart. He's probably going to see a 1.25. I would say him and JJ. Where's JJ at the bottom? Him and JJ Taylor. These two are going to see probably the most reps out of this Houston backfield. Again, we've seen Dameon Pierce. We know what he can do. I think, if anything, I'm taking his under on 37.5. I feel like he's only probably going to play about a quarter. We know what he brings to the table. We've seen him in this offense. This team doesn't need to see him in game 1 of the preseason. This isn't a make or break for him like people are saying it is. I don't believe it's a make or break for him. I think he's a solid RB2, and I think he's going to stay at that value. I don't think people are going to try to blow this out of proportion. The coaches aren't going to have him in for a long period of time as they don't want to trust Jawar Jordan down the stretch of this season. But Jawar Jordan's going to be an interesting name. JJ Taylor, I love. I love the hire on JJ Taylor. JJ Taylor, he is a 5'6" running back. And sorry again if you hear J-Mo cooking in the background. But he's a 5'6" running back with extremely good explosion speed. He can catch the ball. He's a Patriot. He's an ex-Patriot back, so you know he can automatically do everything. He automatically is a guy that's going to take the check down screens. That's going to be able to take it at least 10 yards a pop with this short explosion. And he's a guy that can actually break tackles surprisingly well for his height. Now, is he going to make the roster? That's what he's fighting for tonight. Him and Jawar Jordan, right? Yeah, Jordan are battling for this RB4 spot and this roster cut right now. It is J-Mo always cooking. J-Mo stay cooking, brother. J-Mo cooking up parlays. J-Mo cooking up meals. How you done? Anyway, yeah, so JJ's a guy that I really like. He can catch it. He can run it. He's not a guy where Dameon Pierce, again, that's a rushing reception line. Is Dameon Pierce going to catch a fucking ball tonight? Probably not. I would have to guess not. So you're taking him at 37 rushing yards, really? I don't love that. Easy under for me. Demetric Felton, if you got his 2 reception line, I mean, his line's 57.5, dude. Like, that's so fucking high. But he's going to see a ton of work. Another preseason GOAT where he's probably going to see the 3rd and 4th quarter. He's probably going to see, I would have to say, at least 2 full quarters. At least 1.5 full quarters. And then 2 would be kind of the stretch of where he's at, right? So, Dylan says you can hear the sizzle. That's funny as shit. 57.5 is a little high of a line. I'm kind of fading that. He's a very explosive back. He was good in game for the Browns when he was playing for them. Again, but he's more reception or the same amount of receptions as he does rushing yards. So when you're taking this rushing total, and I think his rushing total is at 30, that's just a high line. Like if there was a rushing total here on UD, I would take that under every time. Mechie is now up to 32. He started last night. You could have got him for 24.5. Could have got him for 24.5, but now he's at 32.5. Make sure you're following. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Make sure you're following the Twitter, guys. Like, and I mean that. I'm not saying that just to like promote us or anything, but like when you're looking at lines for preseason games, for regular season games, like I'm going to be on these plays fucking early. This is now my full-time job. I promise you, this is what I will be looking at all day, every day. As soon as the line comes out, I have a guy from UD, Berm, the GOAT, literally texts me as soon as lines drop. I'll be one of the first people to get him out there with the write-ups, everything, research behind him. So if you want to get on these plays early, you want to get the best lines, like I posted last night where they've literally already moved or been taken off, make sure to go follow the Twitter. It, I think, is linked in our bio on YouTube. So you literally can just go to our bio. It should be there. Okay? Moving on, right? All right, so I talked about a few of the guys on... Obviously, I like John Mechie's a higher. I think John Mechie's going to be in that slot role. There's only 2 slots. If you saw our TikTok video, I explained this. There's only 2 slots right now on the depth chart. Since Tank Dell's not playing, John Mechie's probably going to get a lot of run. Last year in the same role, in Game 1, Tank Dell was in this exact same spot. 5 receptions, 65 yards, a touchdown. John Mechie's a good player. He just has sadly been asked ACL tear, take him out, battled cancer. This year's the year where he can finally do something in preseason. I'm expecting him to kind of do it this time. We'll see how it comes out. I'm hoping he can be the best. Chris is in here. J-Mo's clapping in the back. Way to be. Fucking Chris Yingling made his appearance. Yeah, listen, Tyson Bagent came out, his line originally. If I'm going to be honest with you, Chris, first off, I played Tyson in college. Great player. Elite player, some might say. 75.5 is a fucking high line for a guy that I don't really know how long he's going to be in the game. Obviously, we're really only looking at 2 quarterbacks for today's game. They might have a third guy. I try to think of their depth chart. I think I can pull it up real quick. The Bears depth chart, ESPN Bears depth chart. I think, yeah, Austin Reed is a guy who might get some fucking run. I don't know if he's injured. I haven't seen. I saw a line on him, I thought, earlier. No, he's active, dude. He might just steal some shit, and that would be no fun for anybody. If Austin Reed's out here coming in the game, taken away from your boy, Tyson might only see first quarter and a half, sub him out, get the 3 and the 4s in, get Austin Reed some play time. Like, this is game 1 of the preseason, fellas. Like, I don't you guys got to dial in on the fact that, like, the players you want to see are not going to play. So, like, if anything, 75.5 for Tyson, who barely did this in the regular season. In a full game, he was throwing for like 100-something yards a game. It's tough for me to see him to get over 76 yards tonight. And again, Houston's backups on the defensive side of the rock are pretty solid. Where Reed's here? Oh, Reed's at the top. Sorry, I missed that. Duh. Way to point that out. Yeah, Reed's here at 61.5. So you have 3 quarterbacks around the same value. Tyson's the highest, easy lower, smash every time. Again, also Chicago is playing 0 starters. So no one is going to be catching the ball for Tyson Bagent right now. I mean, what are we going to be looking at from a receiver standpoint of this Bears? I mean, we can go look at it. I just pulled up the Bears depth chart. Like, this is what we're going to be rocking. Yo, my mouse has to dial the fuck in. Tyler Scott, GOAT. He'll probably play like 2 drives. But it's really going to be like Dante Pettis, Freddie Swain, Colin Johnson, Velus Jones Jr., like DeAndre Carter. These are the guys that are going to be catching the balls tonight. Gerald Everett, you think he's going to get run? Thoughts, J-Mo? Gerald Everett run tonight? Mercedes Lewis, back end of the bench? Mercedes Lewis is still on the fucking team. You think the 40-year-old gets in the game? If Mercedes Lewis gets in this fucking game, I'm going to lose my mind. No, he's not going to have much to work with. Tyson Bagent under feels locky to me. I feel like Guts played everyone throughout the years. Anybody that's really played D2, I feel like out of the good teams, yeah, I played. I mean, you think about the division I played in D2 is like one of the best divisions in Division 2 football. So I probably played some pretty good people, or I played a lot of people in high school. But yeah, kind of crazy, small world. Xavier Hutchinson, his line have gone up. He originally was at 1.5 receptions last night when it dropped. Went up to 2 receptions. Now he's at 2.5 receptions. I liked it at 1.5. 2.5's a high line. 2.5 is a very high line. Everett and Lewis don't need preseason time. That's exactly what I was thinking when I was just saying it. Yeah, no, their time is probably going to be very limited if they get in at all. I highly doubt it. Freddie Swain's another guy to look at, toss like a little bit of something at, maybe. Not really putting him on my list, though. Again, we don't have a ton to work with here. The main guys I'm looking at, Case Keenum, Tyson Bagent, I now like the under. Someone, if anything, maybe some Brett Ripon over. I think he'll get a good quarter and a half. Austin Reed's probably only going to see the end of the game. I'll go lower. Also, I have no idea what this fucking kid can do, so I'm automatically going to assume he's ass. That's normally how we have to do it around here. Davis Mills, also, if I were to do anything, it'd be lower. Not 100 yards. Is he playing a fucking quarter? 2 quarters? 100 yards is a lot. Didn't get that last year. He got 97, I think, in game 1. But again, he was quarterback 2, not quarterback 1. Saw more time. This is what we're thinking about. He also had Tank Dell to throw to. This year, he don't got no Tank Dell. Stop clicking on Case Keenum. Why is Case Keenum's head like that? Underdog. We got to dial it the fuck in. That just can't happen. Is that how everyone's is? Oh, Lord. That's not a hot look. Anyway, Dameon Pierce under I like. Colin Johnson, dude. What the fuck are we doing? He had 1 reception for 11 yards on 1 target versus Atlanta. He might get some run. I'm really upset they took the Demetric Felton line for receptions off. They knew I was hammering it. I think I have two picks with Demetric Felton in it. I know I've slammed the Case Keenum under a lot. So those are the main ones we're going to be looking at. That's the way to get the most money out of this game. Again, if we're going to take straight winners, I don't like to bet spreads in this game. Not a big fan of taking spreads. The spread's 1.5. It's favoring Houston right now. I think I would take the money on the Bears side of things. Just because they have solid depth on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, offensive probably is not going to look too hot. But I think this is going to be a game where it's a preseason Hall of Fame game. Score's going to be 20-15, 20-16. It's going to be some whack-ass scoring going on in this ball game. Obviously, there's no kicker lines, or else I would hammer the fuck out of those. So, yeah. Use code BDGE, Tim says, as the god he is. Use code BDGE when you're signing up on Underdog because you'll get a deposit match bonus. You see all the money at the top right? Happens when you use code BDGE. Just saying, not that much, but $250 could be yours in a deposit match that Underdog gives you. Not only that, Underdog gives you, hold on, let's look at this. Let's just go over some shit, because why not? Because we're live, and I have the fucking time to do so, right? Right now on NFL lines, we go to, full, I think, season. Oh, no, they took it down. Well, they had free things. Well, if you sign up using our code, you'll get a free one. So you'll get a free square for week 1, which will be all of these games. I think the free square will be Patrick Mahomes, if I'm not mistaken. Might be CJ Stroud, whatever. But as soon as you use our code, you'll get a free square, $250 deposit match bonus, along with the draft guide. Came out today. J-Mo worked really hard, slaving away, not only in the kitchen, but on the draft guide. He will stamp his name on that. CJ Stroud, he says, right up is in there from the hands of Jameis Stain. You think trading Kyler and a first for Lamar will, in a dynasty league, is worth it? No. Kyler Murray is a lot of value this year. I think he will be better than Lamar Jackson this year in fantasy football. Stamp the name on it. Last time Kyler Murray had a 1,000-yard receiver, he finished as QB2. Some are saying if Marvin Harrison does it, Kyler does it too. And I really believe in the offense this year. Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride can carry this fucking team, dude. And James Conner's a good enough running back to really make it happen. You wish Pickums were in Ohio? Dub. MLB got some discounts? Where, my boy? You're lying straight to my fucking grill. I can't believe you just did that. You lied straight to my face. Zero remorse. Wow. That's crazy. I see 0 discounts here. Mr. Pittsburgh 21. 0 discounts. I'm looking straight at you right now, dude. All right. Have y'all talked about UD having a BDG draft? Wait. Have y'all talked about UD having a BDG draft on UD similar to MMG Flock Fantasy? Flock had one? Damn. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. We did one last year, Superflex. I'm assuming by the time in the next month, Nick will probably get something cooking on there. We did it last year, Superflex. We like Superflex drafts. They're a lot of fun. Might do something similar again. I damn near maxed out on it last year. I'll probably do it again. Yeah, so I'm going to talk to Nick about that. We'll get back to you, but I'm assuming we'll probably try to do something like that before the season kicks off. Last year we did it late August. I'm assuming we'll do it late August again, right before the season. Get that last push in, and then give out prizes and whatnot. You sit on a throne of lies. Been getting bamboozled. No, yeah, I'm not seeing nothing here, boss man. Absolutely nothing. All right. Now I'll just go over some free NFL season picks if you want them. I mean, I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, I've got 2 MLB discounts. What the fuck? How come I don't have discounts? Maybe because I already placed bets today. That's bullshit. I'm going to talk to the higher-ups at UD. I want to refresh the page. Maybe that's it. Nah, I'm just cooked. Yep. Nah, I'm cooked. Damn. Yep, nothing's here. All right, NFL season. Why not? Money line, who you picking? If I had to take one, I'm taking the Bears, but I'm probably not taking any of them. Now we got some season-long locks because I'm bored, and we have another week until the next live stream, so why the fuck not? All right. If you insist, I guess I'll give you some lockies. I mean, I guess so. Go over the Bears season longs and Texans. Wow, J-Mo is cooking right now. Bears, wow, hate all of them. Caleb was at 36.50, now back down to 36. Originally was 35.50, still too high. We're taking a lower. Passing tugs, honestly, I like that more than his passing yards. He has to be a top 5 rookie quarterback of all time to hit this number. Just want to say that out loud. Top 5 rookie quarterback of all time. I like Caleb. Don't love Caleb. That's a high fucking line. CJ Stroud had an elite year. Everyone loved him. Big smoochies. But didn't hit this line. Draft guide update. Hank? What the fuck? What is... Oh, it comes out at 6, doesn't it?
If you bought it online, Underdog, you'll get an email sometime tonight.
Oh, okay. UD will get it sometime tonight, 6 p.m. if you got it from the site. Yeah, so UD's got to, like, dial it the fuck in. All right. Or just ask Kelsey. That's what J-Mo says. Okay. Anyway, Jonathan Taylor over yards is a lock. I low-key like Jonathan Taylor touchdowns, but we'll get to that later. Bears, again, that's probably the only bet I'm taking. Cole Kmet, sneaky value there. Everyone else I'm kind of fading. I don't really like the Bears offense at all. Houston, though. We got some juicy stuff at Houston, okay? Never mind, I lied. Tank Dell over receiving tugs, though. I mean, barely played last year, had 7 in no time. The connection between him and CJ Stroud is nuts. Can't deny it. Nico Collins went up. He was not this high. He's now at 150 receiving yards. Stephon Diggs still is at the weirdest receiving yard mark of 974. High receiving total line. If I'm going to be honest, I might take the under on that. But not much here. I'm really loving, hating enough to fade. Tank Dell, I do love his reception touchdown line. Max bench 350. Nico over yards. You think he's going for 1,200? If Tank Dell still, no, that guy said I think he's going for 1,200 easy. It's at 1,050. Either way, I think no. Reason being, if Tank Dell stays healthy, now they add Stephon Diggs. You're adding way more heads to feed. Joe Mixon is a solid receiving back. Comparative, like Devin Singletary was all right. Wasn't anything great, but Joe Mixon definitely adds that element to the game. And Dameon Pierce can't catch bricks. So Dalton Schultz, I mean, isn't going to take anything away from Nico, but again, you're adding Stephon Diggs. Tank Dell's going to be healthy this year. I kind of like the under on Nico if I'm going to take anything. He's going really high in UD drafts. Kind of not really loving the value there. But again, the connection between him and CJ is something you got to note. I know Diggs is washed, right? Great. I get it. I get it. DJ Moore yards feels low. I mean, when you add Keenan Allen to the mix, when you have a rookie quarterback to the mix, is it really that low? That's my question. Rookie quarterbacks traditionally don't throw for 3,600 yards. This is a definitely Caleb thing. You're adding Rome Odunze as well. Again, top 10 pick. Cole Kmet still is there, dude. He was the easy number 2 in that offense last year. He could do it again this year. You add DeAndre Swift, receiving type back. It's like there's a lot of options here outside of DJ. Again, he could easily now. If Caleb supports 3 1,000-yard receivers, I was wrong. But I would rather not touch it than bet on an over where there's a lot of new variables that we don't really know. Pollard went to Tennessee. When did Mixon go to Houston? Oh, no. Mixon's been at Houston, right? Anyway, just some other ones I really want to note that I really like. They took Bijan's rushing line. Oh, fuck. His rushing touchdowns is there. When it comes back, take it. Rushing tugs. Low-key, love Cooper Kupp receiving tugs. 6.5. You might think I'm crazy. He had 19 red zone targets in 10 games last year. 19 red zone targets in 10 games. 6.5 receiving tugs. Feels like a low line for a guy that is clearly still the number 1 option if he plays a full season, which, again, that's a lot to ask for Cooper Kupp. But if he plays a full season, I think this can be a line that I really am stapled on. I've already took it in a few of my own, so I suggest you guys do the same. Really like Cooper Kupp there. I love Marvin this year. I think he can go for like 1,300 in this fucking offense. Last time Kyler had a good receiver is 1,400 yards. 1,000 feels like fucking nothing. Anthony Richardson, 7.5 rushing tugs. Me and J-Mo have talked about this in length. I mean, come on. He had 4 in 4 games. We were sitting here at 7.5 for a season. He might put Florida on the fucking map. Nico had 1,315 games last season. Still take the over. Listen, I understand it, but you have to remember Tank Dell was hurt for most of that season. They add another alpha, in quotes, receiver to that offense. They add a receiving running back. Those are 3 players now that you're adding into the mix on a weekly basis, as assuming everyone stays healthy, assuming Nico stays healthy. It's a lot. It is a lot that can take away a 250-yard buffer. I'm not really loving it. But again, if you guys want to take the Nico over, be my guest. If you love Nico, that's your guy, go ahead. Won't you consider if a multi-million guy, DJM, doesn't hit 1,000, wouldn't that be a letdown of a season? I would assume it would be a letdown of a season. But that's how betting works. I'm not going to bet on a guy. Did my camera go out? What the fuck? Oh, my God, my camera overheated. Hold on. Hold on, we back. Trust. We back. We're back. Trust. All right. All right, well, we're not going to have too much longer on the stream here. It's about a good 30-minute stream just yapping about plays. Or we only have 1 game on. Normally this will be longer once I have more games to really yap about and go over. But for now, we're kind of just rolling. Bears are a letdown of a franchise. Facts. So what are you really thinking here? Amon Ra, love the line. That's a 300-yard buffer. Going to take that every time. Jane Daniels, lower. Love it. He's fucking ass. If you disagree, lick my nads. Next, Jameer's receiving yards came out at 350. I don't remember seeing that before. Maybe I'm tripping. Kyler, I like the over. DK's a guy I'm really interested this year. JJ McCarthy, I'm fading to eternity. Like, so hard. Drake May, I'm not touching. I don't care if his line's that low. Jonathan Taylor, I love everything about him. I'm trying to see if other guys that I really like here that I just want to point out before I hop off. Geno Smith, 22.5 tugs is the most locky thing of all time. I know I haven't talked about it in like a month, but no, this is a fucking lock. Like, a lock's a lock, and this is a lock. So, like, lock it the fuck in. Dial it the fuck in. Lock. Okay? Next. I kind of like Kirky's line of 4.5 receiving tugs. Kind of like it. Kenneth, he might be top 5 back this year in fantasy. He shaved his head. You see that? Shaved his fucking dome. He might be now Adrian Peterson, some are saying. I'm not the one saying it, but some do be saying that. Next Adrian Peterson is coming right up. Coming up the pipeline. Zach Moss, I'm also fading into eternity. I think that's Chase Brown's role to take, and I think he's going to take it. Javonte Williams higher, 625. The camp can't be any more bust than Javonte Williams right now. This line is just simply too low based off of what camp said earlier in the season. Javonte's not going to be there. Javonte might get fucking cut. Javonte might this. He's not. He's getting over 625 rushing yards. Mark my fucking words. I promise you, put it on God. You can come back to this live stream in 3 months. Whatever it is, I promise you. Also, yeah, QJ under everything. That video on, what is that? AFC West will be out tomorrow. So you can look forward to that. Me, JMO, and Nikki went over all of the AFC West teams. And, yeah, that will be interesting in itself. Other guys, J.J. Watt, sack under, really love. That's a fucking high-ass line. I get it's T.J. Watt. 15.5 sacks to hit is a high line no matter who you are on any given year. If one injury happens, it's cooked, right? So that's what we're liking. And Pat Fryermuth we talked about, we like a lot in one of the videos that's going to be dropping soon. And Ezekiel Elliott, 5.5 rushing tugs, is the lock of the year. Pair that with Demario Douglas higher, 549.5 receiving yards, and you made yourself a fucking grand. You know what? I'll do it live. I'm in New Jersey. I can't bet it live right now. But if I was in New York, I'd bet it live right now. I'll lock it in for you for like the 17th time. I might max out on Demario Douglas, Ezekiel Elliott. Trey Benson lines? I'm not touching Trey Benson, Chris. We got to dial in, Chris. Okay? Just lock it the fuck in. Like, Chris, where's Chris going to be? Oh, yeah, no, Chris, are you going to be in our live stream tomorrow? 1 o'clock tomorrow, Chris. You going to be there? Chris, I'm looking at you. You're going to be in our live tomorrow, 1 p.m. If you say no, I'll shoot it. I swear to God. You think I won't? I'll put on moms right now. And I don't like Trey Benson's lines, period. Thank you. He's an explosive back, but can't read a hole if his life depended on it. That's why he dropped in the draft. Damn, Chris. You're just not going to respond. That's kind of crazy. Oh, he's going to be there. All right. Made JMO happy. All right, I'm going to log off for the night. We have our locks for the game. If you came in late and you're like, what the fuck are we talking about? Okay, locks for tonight. This is how we're going with it, right? Tyson Bagent under, right? Case Keenum lower, right? J.J. Taylor higher. And I would do John Mechie. You can play with that if you want. If you want to spice it up, you can add it. That would be where I'm at. That's where I'm kind of finalizing things. If we see Demetric Felton's receiving line come back out, you got to pounce on that as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Okay. All right. Well, that will be it for today. And thank you guys for tuning in. Love you all. Big smoochies. Take the Bears money line or don't. I'm not going to take it, but if you want to take it, go ahead. And I'll catch you next time. We'll be back next week. My camera just died and overheated, so this is the perfect time to end it.